Disappointing game this weekend. Didn't play very well. Didn't play as hard as we needed to, which is why we didn't get the result we needed. So we've got to start playing better. We're just in a little bit of a rut right here, and we've got to start playing better. If we don't play much better than we did on Saturday, it's going to be a long night tomorrow night. So we've got to hopefully improve and get better, especially rebounding the ball. We haven't been imposing our will on the glass. We did a really, really poor job on the glass at Alabama. They got 10 offensive rebounds in the second half. It was kind of the same story at Auburn in the second half, and so we'll need to be better because Richards and Brooks and Montgomery and those guys are certainly a formidable front line. So hopefully we'll be better rebounding the ball, and Kentucky's a tremendous team, great defensive team. We'll need to run very, very good offense, better offense than we've been running with our pace and screening, and we'll need to guard quite a bit better than we've been guarding because we're probably not going to be able to score 80 points on them like we've been scoring.
Have teams been able to do something different to you to stop your spacing or whatever is causing the problems?
No.
Is it your
stop
problem or theirs?
We stop our own spacing because we don't go where we're supposed to go. We don't go where we're supposed to go tomorrow. Hagens will set the SEC steal record, single game steal record. If we don't go where we're supposed to go tomorrow, he's going to come swipe the ball from us all over the court. Hope so. We'll find out. We'll find out. I hope so.
Can you point to one thing, schematically, technique, why the three-point defense struggled?
Yeah. We just get put in rotation, and they hit 3 threes on ball side help. They hit 4 threes off of offensive rebound threes. There's 7 of their threes right there that are not easily taken away, but you should be able to take away 5 of those 7. We help from the wrong spots, just do some things that are not what you need to do if you're going to be a good defensive team or if you're going to be an adequate defensive team and if you're going to give yourself a chance to win on the road.
And going into the season, you with less bigs, you kind of thought that athleticism would help that kind of defense. How surprised are you by kind of how that's turned out?
How what's turned out?
That 3-point defense you mentioned.
I don't know if anything's surprising. It's not very good. I don't think our 2-point defense is probably a little bit better than I thought. Our 3-point defense is probably not as good as we thought. But, teams have, they figured us out. They know where our weak spots are, and they just attack the same 2 or 3 people over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's not necessarily that those are the people that get scored on, but that's how we get put in rotation and get put behind the play, and then we get scored on.
Hey, Coach, any thoughts or anything about Shaq's son transferring to LSU?
I can't talk about that.
I think it was the Vanderbilt game where you said that there were 1 or 2 guys that they were keying on defensively.
Yeah, Vanderbilt really did a good job, and teams have picked up on what they did. That was the biggest disappointment from the Vanderbilt game is Coach Stackhouse did a very good job exposing some of our weakest links. And so we've now got to go back and, change a few things and try to disguise it again. But that was the most – obviously we lost. That's not good. But more important than that, I knew, the book was out on us a little bit. They were able to isolate the same 2 or 3 guys almost the entire game, and that's what every team's pretty much done since then.
the games against Auburn and Alabama both, you had a big margin at halftime in rebounding. Is our teams just doing something different in the second half? You said after Auburn game they just attacked better.
Yeah, just attack more.
Alabama did the same.
Well, we had some lucky breaks in the first half. We didn't box them out much better in the first half. The ball just kind of bounced to us. You go back and watch. I mean, the ball just kind of bounced in our hands. In the second half, we did the same poor job of boxing out, and the ball went to their hands. But, I mean, you think about it. Herb Jones had one hand and had 17 rebounds. He had 5 offensive rebounds in the second half with one hand. And so, we've got to – our guards have to rebound better. Skyler had 9 rebounds. But you look back in those games, and, Javonte had 1 rebound at Auburn and 2 rebounds at Alabama. I mean, he's a big guard. He's got to help us rebound. And, we got to have more production from other guys. It's not just him. I mean, he's playing well for us. I'm not picking on him. But, Watford's got to rebound better. Days has got to stay in the game so he can rebound better. Emmett's got to rebound. I mean, everybody's it's got to be team rebounding and not just one-on-one. But long shots or long rebounds, we're just running in there and not, not calculating things right. And so that's what happens. Teams pin their ears back and whip us on the glass.
Coach, you talked about having to take care of the ball against Kentucky and things like that. What else stands out when you watch them? I mean, besides the obvious, is there anything maybe you
Well, they're talented. They're physical. Well coached. Run good offense. They put their guys in right positions. Defensively, they're hardly ever out of position. And they play to their strengths. They play to their strengths. They do what they do, and so they're tremendous team.
With Richards and Montgomery both being over 6'10", that's a unique challenge in itself.
Yeah, I mean, they're big, but we've played other big teams, so, we'll have to certainly go. I mean, Richards is probably the most improved player in the league, and, offensively he gets a lot of credit for his offensive numbers, but he's as good as there is in the league at shielding in the paint and blocking shots. He's a defensive menace now. He gets a lot of credit for, obviously, his major improvement on offense, averaging, 14.5 or 8 or 9 rebounds a game. But defensively, he's improved just as much. His timing, his ability to block shots, affect shots at the rim. He's playing at a very, 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 very high level.
Darius Days has had a few good games here recently. What does he need to do in order to stay out of foul trouble?
He picks up a couple. That's, some of them, he's got to just avoid. He does some things that are just not very smart. But some of them I feel bad. I mean, his teammates put him in terrible spots. His first foul wasn't his fault. I mean, that was another guy's drop, and Days is trying to cover for the other guy who is rarely ever where he's supposed to be defensively. And, Days is trying to cover for him, and he fouls. But that's not his. I mean, I feel bad for him, but that's kind of that's the way it goes. But, he's just got to be smarter. He's got to avoid the ones that he can avoid. He needs to be a little more judicious there.
Obviously, this is a team that won 10 games in a row, not recently, but also has had some ruts, I guess. How confident are you that the true identity of this team is more that 10-win version than the one you're seeing right now?
Well, I mean, I just think we're like any other team. Our margin for error is not very big, and so you have to do everything. You have to do everything right. And I think we've had some slippage in some areas. We've been trying to correct it, but we just haven't been able to get it fully corrected yet. But we're no different than most other teams in college basketball, save San Diego State and Baylor and Kansas and those. That upper 4 or 5, Dayton. We're just kind of like all the rest of them, and there's going to be ebbs and flows. But we've certainly got to play better than we've been playing. We've got to, we've got to be better. But we weren't as good as probably the 10-game winning streak. We're not as bad as we look now. I would say it's somewhere in between. I don't don't think we're necessarily playing great in the 10-game winning streak. I don't think we're not playing well now, but we're not just terrible. We're still a good team, but we've got to be better and improve in some areas, particularly on the defensive side.
Coach, win or lose, do you think if you play well in a game like this, it's one of those snowball games where it takes you to the end of the year and into the SEC
I don't know.
tournament?
We'll see. Maybe if we win, I don't know if we lose. It may snowball the other way if we lose. So I mean, we've got a lot of we've got to find a way to win. It's a winner's world.
You guys have certainly attracted large crowds this year, but I mean, how important is a crowd for a top 10 matchup like this?
I mean, I think the crowd will be great, but I mean, Kentucky does. I mean, everywhere they go, it's like this. I mean, you watch their games when they're on the road. You watch them in Knoxville. You watch them at Texas Tech. You watch them. I mean, everywhere you go, they got T-shirt night and all that stuff. So I mean, certainly we'll have a good crowd, and we're excited about that. But I don't think that's going to affect Kentucky at all. I mean, they're so used to it everywhere they go. It's like they're the main attraction. So it'll be good to have a great crowd. Our crowd helps us at home, but as far as rattling Kentucky or worrying Kentucky, I don't sense they're going to be real rattled or worried by our crowd.